Well, hi guys. Once again, you're back here with old Barry and DR. I'd like you to travel back in history with me, just a little over 100 years. I want to share an important lesson that occurred around 1916. In the early 20th century, Argentina was one of the richest countries in the world. While Great Britain still maintained its dominance on a far-flung empire and propelled it to the world's dominant position among the world's industrialized nations, it was only the United States that challenged Argentina for the second most powerful economy of the entire world. Sit back and watch what I think is one of the most factual presentations I've seen to date. I admire the person who had done this, an excellent quality presentation, and even a higher frequency individual that's allowing this to be shared without a copyright infringement. This is for everybody's well-being, and I encourage you to add this to 2 or 3 others I mentioned that you may want to put on a memory stick for future use. We'll pick this up together on the other side. But for now, don't cry for me, Argentina or America.
It won't be easy, you'll think it's strange when I try to explain how I feel, that I still need your love after all that I've done. You won't believe me, all you will see is a girl you once knew, although she's dressed up to the nines, at 6s and 7s with you. I had to let it happen, I had to change, couldn't stay on my life down at here, looking out of the window, staying out of the sun. So I chose freedom, running around, trying everything new, but nothing impressed me at all. I never expected it to. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. And as for fortune, and as for fame, I never invited them in, though it seemed to the world they were all I desired. They are illusions, they're not the solutions they promised to be. The answer was here all the time. I love you and hope you Don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Have I said too much? There's nothing more I can think of to say to you. But all you have to do is look at me to know that every word is true. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Have I said too much? There's nothing more I can think of to say to you. But all you have to do is look at me to know that every word is true.
Welcome back. What an incredible presentation. As the United States, similar, Argentina was also abundant in agriculture, fertile land, accessible harbors and rivers. It had it all, and its level of industrialization actually exceeded most of Europe. So what happened? Well, as the video showed you, Argentina in 1916 elected a new president from a new party, of all things called the Radicals. Their tagline was, of all things, fundamental change. It was designed to appeal particularly to the middle class of the country, and its nation's citizens just gobbled it up. Hook, line, and sinker. Here's a list of the short changes that were instituted by that new, I will say, party or regime, if you want to be so bold about it. Some of them were mandatory pension, mandatory health insurance, support for low-income construction, which they said would stimulate and boost the economy, which was already flourishing at the time. To do this, though, they needed to assess payroll taxes. Any of this starting to make sense to you? So the newly elected began for the first time instituting payroll taxes to fund these programs. As with what we're seeing today, do you not see a similarity following suit? Do you not see radical parties trying to change things? The Green New Deal, people fighting each other. Programs that are underfunded, that cannot sustain, be it Social Security or government insurance for health care for everybody. This is why I always say nothing changes but the technology, and I don't understand, well, we do, but be it in our DNA makeup, there is flaws, and this is our strongest understanding why we keep repeating the same mistakes. By putting our faith in elected officials, although it sounds logical, we elect them to represent our best interests. With a flaw in the DNA, it never happens. At least please point out to me one time in history that it has. I want to close out where suggesting I think everybody should at least watch this twice and sit down and watch it with everybody you know and everybody you think that will benefit from this type of factual information. I want to quote King Oscar II of Sweden, and I believe part of Norway back then, once said, "A person who has not been a socialist before the age of 25 has no heart. If they remain one after 25, they have no head." I couldn't agree more with that statement. The most powerful weapon, the mentors have always said, it was just me that's been broadcasting it across the YouTube channel. The mentors have always said the most powerful weapon, bar none, even over the media, is an ignorant citizenry. Step back, take a look at the rioting, take a look at what some of our biggest cities, or the biggest cities in America, are beginning to look like. Boarded up like a war zone. People fighting people, people insisting that are men that are women, that are women that are men. It just goes on and on. I believe Einstein said, "Genius has its limitations, but stupidity is limitless." I concur. I want you to also understand, I recently did a video about the power of words, how words are a weapon. Excuse me for coughing there. Every time your representatives, every time any government says, "For your safety," understand, substitute the word safety, because they never gave a damn about that, and edit in what they really mean, control. So it's for your control. As a matter of fact, if you ask some of the people you're trying to wake up, what is actually, where does the word government come from? If you get a good Latin dictionary, you will find it's also two words. The first word is gubernamentino. Gubernamentino means control or to control. The second word is ment. Ment in English means the mind. So if you understand the word government is to control the mind, does that not give you a good description of what's been happening through the millennia because of ignorant citizenry? In closing, I just want to say something that I feel is very powerful. Please remember this. Freedom has never been and never will be free. I hope this makes sense to you. Please share this with everybody you care and love. And on a positive note, not a negative note, there is no stopping this. What you're trying to figure out is not will I be affected, but rather to what degree. So I encourage all listeners who have a reasonable level of intelligence. Remember, knowledge comes from a cell phone. Anybody could look that up. Intelligence requires the ability to put these facts in a chronological order that will help you flourish by them. It is my desire to help the few that have that ability to figure out where are you going to position yourself on the other side. Make no mistake about it, humanity is nothing more than a herd. Like any other herd in the wild, it will seek, relocate, or defend to protect itself and to better itself. I encourage all who are listening, please understand that. You're not waking up anybody. People have to wake themselves up. And in closing, I also want to state that if you've taken a look at anybody who we look in past history now as a great leader and freedom fighter, whether it's Thomas Edison, Adams, Samuel Adams, or whatever, the founding fathers, or anybody else, it doesn't have to be related to America. Please note that during their time, they were the radicals. They were the troublemakers. It was only later in time that they became appreciated for what they did. What I'm trying to say is nobody ever stopped a revolution. That's why I'm saying there's no stopping this. It is not a negative statement. Facts do not fight. Facts only make sense. Ignorant citizenry fights. Every one of these great individuals came to being after the occurrence, not post. Not one of them was able to stop it, okay? Whether it was the revolution, whether it was a world war, whether it was a famine, whether it was anything, it was always post the occurrence that they were recognized for what they had done, never pre the occurrence. Once again, as closing, I hope this makes some sense to you. We've left the mundane. We're moving on to what we feel is useful information that, if put into practice, still is not too late to help average citizen, regardless of where you're living. Till next time, this is old Barry in DR saying best adventures. Talk to you soon.